Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Is this mic on? Raise your hand back there if you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear me now? You gotta raise your hand. Not you, them. But I can talk loud enough for you front row. I'm really honored to be here. One of the things I learned about life when I was born, my mother had 9 children. I love it when I was born number 7. That's God's perfect number. And then neat part 2, I was born 7 months premature. For many years, I'd say immature, and everybody agreed. And finally, somebody said, Kenny, you're not 7 months immature. Even though you acted sometimes, you're premature. So time went on when I grew up. My mother was an alcoholic, very abusive, but a wonderful woman when she went on the bottom. She was my mom, and I wouldn't trade her for no one. Before I was 8 years old, both of my mother and father passed away. We left Dallas, Texas, and we moved to Memphis. My foster father said he didn't want to have anything to do with me. I was labor retarded and put in retarded class for the first 2 years of my life. I loved it. The only thing I ever had to do was draw with a crayon where all of you had to learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I got away with murder. Just like the hanging elephant. So as time went on, I started realizing that I was retarded. And a lot of the other students would tell the teacher, I want to be like Kenny because all I want to do is draw. I thought it was pretty cool to be retarded, you know? Didn't even know what it meant years later. But why change something if you like it? I knew I was different. I was treated different. The hearing world didn't really understand me and understand my speech. I went to 6 years of speech training. And then after that, I started learning to be able to wear hearing aids when I was 10. As time went on, my hearing got worse and worse. The first 8 years of my life before my mother and father died, we never went to church. I remember I was invited to church one time. It's beautiful when someone here invites one friend to come to church. It was a Baptist church. I went in and I saw this picture of a man with a beard, a beautiful outfit, and I thought, I like him. I want to be friends with him. My friend looked at me and said, you have to accept Jesus. Why can't you accept me like I am? Oh, you have to learn. So as time went on, my mother and father died, and I went to live with my foster parents. My foster mother was a very, very religious woman who loved to go to church. Every time they even invited me to church, I had to go. I had to help. Every time the door was open. I had 9 brothers and sisters. I never understood a lot of adults when we had parties and get together and people would start laughing. And I didn't understand. I'm going, what did he say? And everybody would say, oh, don't worry about it. Go play with the dog. And that's what I wound up doing, playing in the backyard with my dog. But a lot of times I'd be crying because no one wanted to be with me. My foster father said I wasn't going to be no good. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. But my foster mother said, you're going to come to know Jesus. I'm going, okay. So when I went to church, back then, it was a Methodist church. And we had a new pastor who was from Germany. To me, as a child that was a little, then I was 9 years old. This man was 10 feet tall. He was a military man from Germany. And he was a preacher, scared the tooey out of me. I didn't know what I was going to do. And he kept talking about Jesus. Get saved. He's watching you, every move you make. And every time I think about it, he'd point at me only. Nobody else. Get saved. You're bad. You're a bad boy. You need to come up here and get saved. But it's always pointing at me. So I actually got saved 3 times. The third one was a charm. But it wasn't until I was 17. So when I was 9, I noticed a lot of the young people that I hang around with when we sit in the pew, just like this. And all of a sudden, a lot of the guys got up and started going down the pew, and they came to the front to get saved. And I thought, and my foster mother said, get saved. Okay. So I went and followed the other kids. Because when the other kids came back, look what I got. They got a little red Bible. I want a red Bible. So I went and got me a red Bible. But I told the pastor I wanted to be saved. So we got sprinkled. You know, I never knew when you had to take a shower. It never made sense. So after that, I never really questioned anything. And then years later, I got saved again because they gave out a bigger Bible. Still didn't understand what it meant. until finally, with the second time after when I got saved, was the fun time. Just like at your church, I had actually left the Methodist and went and joined the Baptist. And when I was at the Baptist church, they have the Baptist, that's your baptistry, I believe, up there, right below, above the choir. When I was little, this time I was about 11 years old, I had hearing aids. And I started understanding more and more about salvation. And I want to get baptized. So I went up there, but I was scared of the preacher. There was another preacher. He was 10 feet tall, too. Oh, the Lord said, you know. So I decided to go ahead and get saved. When I got to the end of the baptistry that night, he told everybody, y'all going to get saved tonight, get baptized? Okay. Don't forget to bring your underclothes. The boys, bring your white underwear. And I thought, I'm not going to go up there with my underwear. You're going to have a robe on. Okay. So when I got up there, the pastor would look down, and I looked up, and he goes, huh? That's why you're not down here. So I looked in the audience, and my foster mother was sitting over here going, you never point to deaf people about what to do. They would do exactly where the finger goes. So he goes, so I got to the edge. I saw the water. Why not? So I dived in. I swam to the other side. The water went flying over the wall. And the choir. But for me, I got baptized. And my foster mother, she was behind the counter, couldn't see her. She was hiding herself. I don't know that boy. I don't know him. And there was the pastor looking at me. So he came down the steps. Come here. And so he goes, you know, and I'm going, what? He goes, so he grabbed my hand and he does this. And I thought he was going to kill me. So I kind of took a deep breath, and he bent me backwards to go into the water. What I didn't understand was there's a piece of metal down here because I'm so little. My feet's supposed to go under the metal so it won't come flying up. I didn't do that because I'm deaf. I came flying over my feet. Water went over it again. The people in the choir was like, then I couldn't find my foster mother. I thought she left the church. But she was still there. But you know what? Jesus still loves me. As years went by, when I was 17, I finally came to really meet Jesus Christ. I got saved in a movie by Billy Graham, Time to Run, many, many years ago. When I did get saved, I was with my fiancée. A week later, she broke up with me because she thought I was a Jesus freak. Hey, it was cool. I lost my fiancé, but I still had Jesus. She didn't understand. I wanted to be loved. Because I'm deaf, because I'm hearing, it doesn't matter. I was short at the time. But Jesus accepted me exactly as I am. I don't care what you are, where you've been, rich or poor, tall or fat, black or white. I didn't think I'm ugly, but I still get accepted by Jesus. So as time went on, when I was about 14 years ago, I had a full bypass, open heart surgery. On Valentine's Day, Jesus gave me a better heart. While I was recovering during those last 2 years, learning how to get healed, get better, get healthier, I decided to go mountain climbing. Well, I wasn't very bright. I didn't have a rope, and I didn't have a friend. And I fell off the cliff and broke my neck. I was paralyzed for a long time. It took about 2.5 years to learn to walk again, to walk, to speak. My deafness became worse when I hit my head and when I broke my neck. They said, oh, I'll never walk again. You'll be in pain every day. I'm pain-free today. You see, I can walk. I can dance if I could. But the thing is, the time went on. During the next 2.5 years, I was doing great. I was starting to become a motivational speaker. I was told when I was in retarded class, I would never pass the 3rd grade. That just because you have a disability, you will never amount to anything. Your speech is awful. Why don't you just get a check and let the state take care of you? In some sense, if you have to, you do it. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to perform. I love to be in front of an audience to tell people how to love one another, to forgive one another. And I've learned all that because I am a child of God. So after 2.5 years trying to recover to learn to walk again from my broken neck, I had cancer, colon. I had 6 months to live. I'll be honest with you, I was excited. I'm going home. But the Lord had other things in his plan. I'm still here. And I just found out last week, I'm in my 7th year of recovery. I'm a survivor. So the cancer is free. And so as time went on, as time goes on, my depression become worse. Last year in October, I got a brand new knee. And then 4 months ago, I had 2 back surgeries. 4 weeks ago, I started kickboxing again. Love it. Life is short. Enjoy every moment. I only share that with you real quick because I could go on for hours and hours, but I don't think he wants me to. So I'm going to give it back to the pastor. But I wanted to share my testimony that even as I know, in the next 3 years, I'm supposed to become totally deaf. And I'll never be able to hear children laugh, to hear my family say, I love you. But you know what? When I was 21, I learned to sign. And that's been the greatest joy of my life. Working with the deaf and hard of hearing has been a blessing because it's partly my family. But it's not really made who I am. I'm everyone's family if you're a child of God. And I pray today that if anybody in the church have doubt, just look at me and I promise you, he's real. Every morning I wake up, I always say, even if I have a headache or my pain getting worse, if I have pain, I still say, hey, thank you, Jesus. I hope during the day that I can touch one person's heart to make them realize that you're loved. You may have people thinking you're not loved because for a long time, the hearing world, and today a lot of people don't accept me being deaf. There's a lot of deaf won't accept me because I speak. And there's a lot of people because I'm oral. So you see, I live in a world I feel like alone, but I'm not. I am a child of God. And I can't wait because in the day it's my time to go home to see my parents, even my baby brother. He passed away 5 years ago. I am looking forward when the day when I can say, hello, Jesus, and I pray that he would tell me, job well done. So I hope to pray that every day as I travel, I am now become the little boy that was retarded, born with brain damage. Today, I just got 4 months ago my master's degree as a master storyteller. I passed the 3rd grade. So the day dreams can come true if you really believe. Because I was always been told I could never hold an audience more than 5 minutes. I still have speech problems. So what? I take practice and work on my words. We're all different, but we're all a child of God. And I pray before you leave here, say hello to someone. Say God bless. Because I love to do that every day. And I'm blessed to be here in this beautiful church with the family of God. Love you. Thank you.